Hey guys, this is Maddie from Let's Eat Plants, and today we are venturing back into the world of TikTok and trying that baked pasta that has gone absolutely viral. But of course, we are going to put a healthy, whole food, plant-based spin on it today. Now, I think the appeal of this dish is that it's very easy. It looks like it's just a one pan, put everything into the oven kind of dish. And hey, that sounds pretty good to me. So typically this pasta uses a large block of feta. So of course, the first thing we are going to need to replace is the block of feta. There are vegan versions of feta, but since we are doing a whole food plant-based version, I thought we should use some tofu. Now, I have seen a couple of tofu feta recipes, but I actually decided to go with this tofu ricotta that I have made before instead, just because I know that this recipe works really well, and I didn't want to risk it since I've never actually made a tofu feta before. And the only modification I decided to make to that recipe is to add some mushrooms. I just think it makes this tofu ricotta even more delicious. To start us off, some garlic and onion. We're just going to chop the garlic and onion and the mushrooms, which have already been rinsed. Add them to a hot pan with a little bit of vegetable broth for oil-free cooking. And then once those have sauteed for a bit, then we are going to add in the mushrooms. And then to a food processor, we're just going to add our tofu, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 tablespoon of miso paste, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I think I also could have added an extra tablespoon of apple cider vinegar because feta does have a little bit of a tangy flavor. And then of course add in the sauteed garlic, onion, and mushrooms. And I'm just doing this batch half by half since my food processor is pretty small. So we're going to process that first half, add in the rest of the tofu and veggies, and process it again. So here's what our final cheese mixture looks like, and we're just gonna set that aside and get the rest of our ingredients ready. We have some grape tomatoes, vegetable broth instead of oil, a couple garlic cloves, a couple shallots, and some thyme. So first we're just going to rinse the grape tomatoes. You could also use cherry tomatoes. Chop and peel our shallots. And peel and smash our garlic. And then we just add all of those into a baking dish. So we have our rinsed tomatoes, our garlic and shallots, and then I'm just leaving a small space in the middle where we would put our tofu cheese. First, we're going to add a little bit of vegetable broth. This is about 1/3 cup of vegetable broth. And like I said, this is to replace the oil that would typically be in this recipe. And now carefully just adding our tofu cheese. Adding a little bit more vegetable broth to the top of that tofu cheese, as well as a little bit more on the tomatoes. And I think I could have used even more broth here, perhaps a full cup next time. Add a few sprigs of thyme, and of course, some pepper, salt, and some chili pepper flakes. Now we are just going to bake the whole thing at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. So after about 25 minutes, you're going to want to cook your pasta, and I'm using a brown rice fusilli. So just boil some water, add in your brown rice pasta or lentil pasta, black bean pasta, whatever pasta you're going to use, and let that cook according to package directions. So this brown rice pasta cooks for about 8 minutes. Now we're just going to drain it and rinse it with some cold water to stop it from cooking. And look at our beautiful baked dish. I'm just taking off the small thyme leaves so that I don't have any thyme stems stuck in our pasta. And now, as you can see, I got really excited about adding the pasta, and I totally forgot to mash the tomatoes first. Apparently you're supposed to mash the tomatoes and cheese together, as you can see in this other video, and I totally forgot to do that. I was just too excited about adding in my pasta. So definitely don't forget to smash your tomatoes here and just kind of incorporate your tofu cheese and your tomatoes. It's also a good time to add in any extra liquid if needed. I think mine could have used an extra cup of either veggie broth or pasta cooking water, and that would have made it a better consistency, which I would have known had I followed the directions and creamed together the tomatoes and cheese like you're supposed to. But anyway, I was too excited, so I just added them all together right into this dish. So I decided to add in some spinach for a little bit of extra greenery. You can also add some freshly chopped basil or some fresh lemon zest would be really nice on here. And here is how our final pasta turned out. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it did not look visually that appetizing. I think that the tofu obviously doesn't melt in the same way that a traditional cheese would, so the texture does look a little bit unusual, but honestly, this pasta was really tasty, and it was super easy for cleanup as well. And I actually really enjoyed it. No need for oil, no need for real cheese. This is protein packed, it is healthy, it is delicious. I highly recommend you guys trying this out. So anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give it a like down below. And of course, let's eat plants, and I will see you guys next time.